Ready?
Welcome back, Delboy's Garage. Hot grips on my Scrambler. Keep my fingers warm.
Right, okay, hope you enjoyed that. Alright, heated grips, quick as we can here. Now normally heated grips, fitting a set of heated grips on a bike does strike a little bit of fear into people because normally you have to use a switched live feed. So you need a live feed from the bike's current or the bike's wiring loom so that when you turn the ignition off it kills the heated grips as well. They are quite a current draw on the bike when the bike's in use, and in that sense if you forget to switch them off and they're just tabbed straight to the battery or any other form of live like that, you'll find that you come back at the end of the day to a flat battery, and that's no good. So you need to put them not just on a switch, even a switch with a light, they need to be wired into the ignition, and that's what makes people scared. It's finding a wire on the ignition, hoping it's the right one, it's not going to catch fire, and making a neat connection that is reliable and won't later on fail and cause a wiring short. But help is at hand. A little while ago, probably a couple of years ago, Oxford and a couple of other companies popped out heated grips, intelligent heated grips that switch themselves off when you turn off the ignition, and it means you can just tab them straight to the battery. You don't have to wire them into everything. So these heated grips are going to fit on Penny Scrambler are just literally tabbed straight to the battery, and that is perfectly healthy. That is completely normal and correct because they have a controller. Let me just show you the way they work. Here's the product. This is not a paid product placement. What is it you say?
There are other products available.
There are other products available. Now this is the product. This is the little doodah I want to show you. This little thing is just the normal controller. So it goes up from 30% up to 100% heat, so you get 4 or 5 nice heat settings. But you get this little section here as well, this little green eco section. And what it does is as soon as you switch the ignition off, if you leave the hot grips on, you switch the ignition off and walk away from the bike, this little controller will sense the voltage drop. Obviously as soon as it starts to draw off just from the battery alone, that is not as much current going into them as would go straight from the bike when it's running. So therefore it senses the voltage drop, switches them off, and there you go and get a flat battery. It's an intelligent system, and on that basis you literally connect them with 2 ring terminals straight to the battery, one to live, one to earth. Simple as that. Correct. Normal. There are people out there who watching this may be thinking, oh no, you shouldn't tab things to the battery, but wrong. You can tab things to the battery as long as it's correctly done. They're neat, tidy connections. You make a neat, tidy job of it and install, and that the wiring itself is in good order. And this is all properly fused. It comes with a little inline fuse in it as well. So it's a proper piece of kit, and it's all rated to work correctly. So all we have to do with this today, bolt it on. Simple as that. Should we get stuck in, Pin?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, first job. Over there. Take the tank off and the seat off. We got this released. Easy. Like that. Easier than I thought it was. And that out of the way over there. Now I'm just going to rip the tank off, which is quite easy. Bolt there, 2 bolts to the back. Now, when I'm doing this, obviously at this opportunity, again, this isn't the sort of job that is difficult or complex or hard, but obviously it does involve taking the fuel tank off. On a fuel injected Triumph, as with so many bikes, there is a fuel valve, a spring-loaded fuel valve. So I want to show you in a little bit of detail how to release that so you can take the tank off clear and you're not operating, lifting it up, risking dropping it off the bike. It's much easier to just take it off. So we release the back of the tank, get it completely free, get it moving back. Now I've got to come around that side and show you. This is what we're like. This is why we're not going out on the bikes today. Look at this. Oh my god! You shut the door, didn't you?
I think so.
Oh my god, look at that! That's immense! Let's just shut the door, shall we?
Welcome to Sunny Dorset.
Look! Right, let's carry on. Okay, with a rag ready, just a small one. With the tank, you need, first of all, get yourself in a situation with no belt buckles or anything, just nice and smooth on the front because you're going to lean the tank against yourself. Lift the tank up, pull it back on its little slots, and then lean it over to the right. You can't come too far away from the bike, and you've got a couple of connections to consider. First of all is this one, electrical connection. Press that little tab at the bottom, leaning the tank on yourself, and pull the plug out. All right. If I just show you quickly on there, it's a little tiny tab just on there. Just press that in and it releases that tab and you pull the plug out. So don't wrench too far. Don't pull it out too far because you'll damage the connection. Right, showing you this. This is the fuel hose here. I'll tell you what, you do that. That's it. The light on it. There you go. Okay, so you see this little plastic shroud. That has to be pushed out the way first. So that's on, that's off. Once that's pushed off, turn it round that way. Then with a finger either side like that, pinch inwards on the little thing, and there we are, it just comes off. You get a little bit of fuel come out, but not much. So I'll just show you again on there. Just showing you on this. That's good light on it, Ben. Got it? Good light on it? That's it. So all you do is, that's the normal rest position. Pull this clip out of the way, and then you can press these two sides in, and they release the fuel valve. And you can pull that clean off, leaving just that on the bottom of the tank, which is quite safe. Right? Don't force it. If it won't come, you've obviously forgot to do something. And when you put your tank down, just have a little safe place to put it that's out of the way. I just opened the garage door for a minute, just while I was taking that off, because there was a little bit of fuel leakage. So, and we're only talking, perhaps a teaspoon of petrol will come out of that at the most, just where the join is itself. But it's got a ball valve in it, the tank has got a pump in it, nothing will come out of that tank, even if it's completely full up. Right, so there we go. Everything's clear, easy to see. Now we're going to just connect the bracketry up here to start putting the wiring through. Okay, little bag of fasteners, bits and pieces, and importantly you get these two little spacers, which I'll show you what to do with those, and two longer bolts. Now on this one, our Penny's made a little bracket there.
This and I did make it.
You did, made it all yourself. That's the normal bracket you get, and it bolts on here, and it doesn't account for this mirror arm. It normally works with one without, so we've made a little bracket just to bring it to one side and mount it on the bars. That's just a little piece of sheet alley cut out and
expertly painted.
Modest to a fault, Aiken. Now the standard factory plastic tube on this particular bike has got these little ridges. Some bikes have got even more ridges, and the way that the Oxford, this particular set of grips works, take the trouble to just cut these off, because you don't need them at all. They supply a little tube of glue, and inside the grip is a hard plastic tube. Obviously that doesn't stretch. The plastic tube that's inside there is split. It's kind of split all the way down. It's not a solid tube, it's kind of got a gap in it, or a split. So they will go on, they will expand and slide on. So you dry fit them on, make sure they come off, which means taking all these protrusions. Every single one of these tubes, these plastic tubes on different bikes, will be marginally different, and we're only talking millimeters. So they need to slide on, roughly dry first of all, then slide off, and then you can put the glue around and fit them properly in the correct orientation, which I'll show you when the time comes. So for now, what we've got to do, because all these rubber, these little ridges and whatnot, they're all designed specifically to catch hold of the rubber grip, the soft rubber grips that live on there normally, and stop them coming off. And you just need to take those and just cut them off, so there's nothing there, and it's completely smooth. And then these ridges here, take your Stanley knife and you can scrape them off like that, or slice them just gently. What you're looking to achieve on here is more or less a smooth tube. You don't want any ridges on that at all, any more than just little nubs, so that it slides on and off. And I can only leave that to you to adjust for your bike. And if you get a problem, these actual plastic tubes themselves cost very little, you know, like a £5 from the dealer. So you bugger it up, you can get another one. But I'm just going to clean this off, and then we can get the grips on. Right, at this stage, just a little catch up. Probably spent nearly an hour on this. Come in close, man. that was the original ribbed tube, and all we've used is a Stanley knife to scrape off the ribs, take the ribs off the end, and sand it like in a towel drying kind of style until you get it absolutely smooth and absolutely round. Now, the instructions guide you to note that inside there's a plastic tube, as I said, and it's split. So that plastic tube pushes over that plastic tube. It's smooth to smooth. There must be no ridges or ribs. There's nothing squashy in there like a normal grip. It's a hard plastic tube. And it advises you to get it so that you can force it on like that, all the way on with medium pressure. Don't bang it, for goodness sake. There's little elements in there. You'll fracture one, grip's useless, and you can't buy one. I found that out. You have to buy another whole set. And if it pushes off or pulls off and pushes on like that, that's correct, and then you super glue it on. But it says quite rightly, before you super glue that on there, link the system up and test it to make sure it's getting hot with the engine running and everything else, and making sure that it all works before you find that you glue that on and then it doesn't work and you have to cut it and ruin all this. So it's just forward thinking, really. It tells you what to orientate this nugget here, so you do all that when the time comes. But for now, I'm going to put it on there about 3/4 of the way, route the wiring through your headstock where you feel it should be. There's both of them. We'll clip it all off and make a really tidy job at the end. But for now, ever so easy. Look, left, right, there's the left and right, and that then just leaves this section. Remember, all the controlling is done in this box up here, and that's connected to, where is it? This little control lead there. And all we then do is hook it up. So straighten out all this. You get loads of it. Now it's weird, isn't it? Because how many bikes are there with the batteries that far away? There we are.
Mega long bike.
Plenty of wiring, can't moan. You might have to route it round things, and that's the secret to making a good install on anything. We're going to the battery here. I'll talk to you in a minute about tabbing, because we've got 2 tabs on the battery already, which is the charger. Well, that's a heated suit, because that Penny likes to be warm. Where's the charger?
Have you noticed?
And the yeah. So you've got the charger there. That's the battery charger, that's the heated suit, and now it's going to be the heated grips as well. So ultimately, I'm just going to route this along. Before I tab it all up, it's just a case of connecting things. Now there's a wiring diagram with it, it's ever so simple, just follow the wiring diagram and plug them in. And thankfully what they've done, as you can see, on this end here, they've put a female end, if you wish, and that's a male end. These are 2 females there, so they go to the 2 grips. It's ever so easy, isn't it? So you just plug that in. You don't even need a wiring diagram for this, you really don't. Snap, that's that one. It can't physically go into these 2, and these 2 then connect, one each, and it makes no difference which is which, no difference whatsoever. Just snap them in, snap, snap. Now at this point it suggests to link it all up and fire up the bike and start it before you glue that on. So let's make gluing that on the very last job we do. What I'm going to do for now is make a job of clipping all this up, putting it all along the wiring loom where it goes, so it's nice and neat, tidy install. It's boring for you to watch, and when we get that done, we'll come back, tap it on the battery, and then we'll put the tank and seat back on, see if they actually work after all the manipulating, muscling it about. Right, let's get this clipped on. Reprime. Right, now all you've got to do is glue that on and finally tidy the wiring, put the seat on. Cut. Roger that. That's where it will be. That's fine, that's perfect. Okay. Right, at this point, everything clipped away, unfortunately, you're going to need this bit of slack. That's what you get. That's the deal. But that's at full throttle. There's still slack on that, and it's not in the way of anything. Everything works correctly. Clip all your wiring away, and before you do anything or go anywhere, do a full lock to lock check. Make sure that none of it's pulling or snagging. You don't need any of this pulling out when it's, you know. So that's a good install. Sit the seat on and call it done. Right. There we are. You can take as long as you want over making it nice, making it tidy, so everything looks good. Right, there we are. Let's call that done. If you're going to fit heated grips on your bike, it is as easy as that. They tab straight to the battery now. You can't possibly leave them on. If you leave them on like that, then after about a minute or so, this light starts flashing, where it's realised obviously there's a problem, and it just switches itself off, so they're safe. And it's all about then just you making a really nice install like that, so it looks good. So there we are. Now, obviously, Penny did the intro to this one, so you know how long that takes. You know what fast that can become. So here's some outtakes for you, because she said we can do it, because it's Christmas. Don't get used to it, because she doesn't like going on the camera normally. So I persuaded her today to have a laugh, and there's some outtakes for you, so hope you enjoy them. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time. Ready? Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and...
You do.
And cut. Action. Anytime you're ready. Right, ready? Okay, go on. And go.
Welcome back to... Welcome... Oh, do it again. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ready? Rolling. Just... Look, just say it through. Stop now. Just say it through. Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Today we're going to fit some hot grips on the Scrambler, right?
Okay.
So just say it as a practice run. Rehearse it. Right, go. Go
Welcome
on.
back to Delboy's Garage. Today, hot grips on my Scrambler.
Hey! I won't look at you this time. Ready? Okay. Deep breath. Okay. Just don't rush it. Just go slow.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Hot grips on my Scrambler.
And action.
Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Hot grips on my Scrambler.
Cool. Let's get stuck in.